Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Dan and Rob Show. This episode is going to be a little more informal. Like we told you in our first episode, we're going to have a couple more serious topics and then some more, fun, just shooting by the hip, but also informative. So this episode is how to buy gold and silver for beginners. So I was talking to Rob. I'm like, hey, let's do something informative, something that we can continue sharing with people on the best ways and teaching people what is spot price, what is a premium, how does that work. So Rob, you wanna start it off, and maybe we can start on a couple of topics and then go from there.
All right. So spot price is basically the price you'll see quoted on websites. You can go to Kitco, goldprice.org. Also, the price that you'll see at your local dealer is basically the price for industrial gold or silver before it actually works its way down the supply chain and you actually buy it. So you will add on something called a premium, which covers transportation, marketing, distribution, etc. costs. Get it from the industrial markets all the way down to the various retailers. And sometimes they'll also have to re-refine it. So spot is like 1,000 ounce silver bars or 400 ounce gold bars that they chop up and then recast into American Gold and Silver Eagles or Canadian Maple Leafs or even the generics. So there's a little bit of premium added onto that. So people pay attention not only to the spot price, which is the quoted, whole, or I call industrial market price, and then whatever that premium is. And a lot of people want to look around for differences in premium on the same product. Like, for example, if we're just looking at American Silver Eagles, the differences in premium could be dependent upon, are you getting the newest American Silver Eagles or some older ones that have been out in the market in their secondary sales? And when did they get them? And who got them, how long they've been holding them, all that kind of stuff fits in. That's one type of premium difference. The other type of premium difference is different products have different premiums. So American Silver Eagles typically have higher premiums, being the most sought after government minted coin, versus on the other end of the scale, you could get some generic mint or private mint coins, which will come with a lower premium because they're not as high in demand. So that's basically a 101 on how to look at spot and premium prices across different products.
Yeah, and what we're using right now is findbullionprices.com. It's probably one of the best bullion aggregators. Doesn't have all bullion dealers because we have metal markup. If you become a member of Citizens Some Money and become a pioneer, you get access to metal markup. We have silver on Canada and America, and gold prices. And for example, these four prices are cheaper for 1 ounce rounds than you will find on bullionprices.com. So we have we actually, metal markup is a project of Citizens Some Money. We bought it in October of 2023 under our founder Jim Forsyth. He orchestrated that deal, and we made it exclusive benefit to our members. So yeah, what I like to also tell people, spot price is definitely like a COMEX bar, right? 1,000 ounces or 400 ounces of gold. But I like telling people, think of the par price for bullion is the ounce. Anything above an ounce, because we measure the price of gold in ounces. So anything above an ounce is going to have a lower premium. Anything below an ounce is going to have a higher premium, for whether that's gold, platinum, palladium, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But spot, you're going to get the closest to spot 9 times out of 10 by buying the large COMEX bars or whatnot, because it's cheaper to mine out of the ground. Let's say the price of gold is 2,800 spot. It might have cost 1,500 or a little less than that to get out of the ground. Then there's a premium from the miners to the refiners, and the refiners to the market, right? So that's essentially what spot is. So if you're a first time buyer of gold and silver, don't really expect to pay spot for any type of rounds or bars. There's always going to be a premium, just because, like I said, it goes from the ground, the miners, to the refiners, to the mints, and then to the retail market. And then there's bullion dealers, right? Rob and I have been bullion dealers. Have been selling gold and silver for a little bit. Rob for a lot longer, like 15 times longer than me. But but yeah, in my mentality, I kind of get it from our founder Jim Forsyth. Our mission at Citizens for Sound Money is to promote the use of sound money and protect people's rights to do so. So I try to keep my premiums as low as possible when I'm selling locally to my people around here. But everybody has a different mentality. For me, it's more like getting it into the hands of people, and affordable, because I believe gold and silver is money. We at Citizens for Some Money are promoting the use of sound money, and we believe that sound markets require sound money. So, what are some other things that beginners should know, Rob, when they're buying gold and silver? Like, what if you were a first time buyer? I'll give my opinion, and you give your opinion. If we were a first time buyer of bullion, what would you buy first?
Yeah, when people ask me about that, whether online or when I had a store, or I've been asked this question at conferences probably a million times. Essentially, the two things is the premium, which you mentioned. You want to get a good premium over spot, but beware. Sometimes the lowest premium is not always the best. You also have to look at reputation of the company, especially if you're buying it online. You have to make sure you're working with a reputable dealer, and you make sure that your product is sound, has been tested. You don't want to get a fake. And then the second thing is, what type of bullion do you buy? If you're first getting into it, there are two camps. One camp is buy the most popular, expensive premium coins because you can always trade them back in. People think that they're more recognized in the market. There's less overall risk. While that could be true, the higher premiums may not be good for first-time buyers that are looking to sort of dollar cost average their way in and start collecting and stacking metal to meet their goals. So I would say a mix of some of the premium, especially government minted coins, and a mix of some of the cheaper private minted coins. Most private minted stuff, when you get it at a reputable bullion dealer, they would have tested it. And most of the well-known private mints don't want to lose their reputation by putting out bad product. The one thing to worry about there are fakes. So I have seen fake Morgan silver dollars, which is the old dollar, and we actually use silver as dollars in the US. I've seen fake government minted coins, from Chinese pandas to American eagles to Canadian maple leafs. I've seen fake bars. Now, it's not super prevalent, but it does happen. So you want to make sure that who you're buying from has a good reputation. They have the correct testing equipment. You know that they're, reputable. You can buy from the big online dealers. You can look at our metal markup app, which will help you out with that. I fully support and recommend that people go to their local coin dealer, because a lot of times those local coin dealers exist on service. They don't give it as much volume as the big guys. So they'll spend time with you, actually educating you on the market, providing good recommendations. There'll be a ton of them in your area. Most cities will have at least 5 to 10 to 15 if it's a decent sized city. So just work your way around, learn, how they price and what type of product they carry, and look for people that are very helpful and aren't trying to pressure you into things. Kind of like going to buy a car. Don't go for the dealers trying to pressure you into something that's higher premium, higher margin if you don't want it. Look for the person who will spend time with you to educate and work with you, and then provide you a range of products to fit what you're looking for. And don't be afraid to buy from multiple places. If you find one place that's really good on government coins, go to that place. If you find one place that's really good on bars and generics, go to that place. And just kind of learn your market over time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I would say, when I started stacking a little over a year ago, for me it was about getting the most metal for my buck, right? So, similar to what Rob said, he would say people government minted coins that have higher premiums, or even private mint coins that are beautiful, like the Trump, a bunch of Trump rounds. People are buying them like crazy just because Trump. There's a Trump with fight, 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 and all that. So that's a little more expensive. There's some artists, but for me, as a starter, I think starting off with generic rounds or even very low premium coins, for instance, the Royal Canadian Mint wildlife coins right now in the market is dirt cheap. Like every single wholesaler is selling them between 25 to $1 over spot, and just to get rid of inventory, because there's a lot of Royal Canadian Mint coins, and a lot of the time you can get these Royal Canadian Minted coins cheaper than generic rounds. But overall, there is that mentality with stackers too, right, Rob, that you should stack as much metal as possible. Forget about premium, forget about looks, forget about sovereign mints. Uh, like that is a mentality, and it's a good mentality, because let's say worst case scenario, the whole system goes down. It's not going to really matter if it has a premium or not. All they're going to care about is the price of the silver. Now, that's a worst case scenario, and a lot of stackers are also preppers and homesteaders and are preparing for the worst
Mhm.
case scenario, or they're prepping in case of a situation like in North Carolina where the hurricane destroyed everything. There was no or internet power or a cell phone reception. So I would definitely say as a beginner, look for the lowest premium stuff, especially for silver. Now, there is an argument that buying sovereign minted coins because they're legal tender in the jurisdiction that they're minted is probably the best way, because right now, for instance, Florida is one of 4 states that still has a sales tax on gold and silver. But if you buy an American Silver Eagle, there's no sales tax, even if you only buy one, because
Mhm.
it is legal tender in the United States. But anything else, Britannias, Maple Leaves, Krugerrands, Silver Krugerrands, all that, generic rounds, if you buy less than $500 in Florida, you have to pay sales tax. So that's one consideration. And to get around, but do the math. Is it really worth saving 6%, 7%? On a $33 round coin versus buying a round and paying taxes. So you got to do the math and see if it's worth it, right? Or not paying taxes on 37 or $34 coin versus say a $31 round. So I don't think it adds up. But if you start buying, thousands of dollars, consider it. And then what do you
Yeah, I would
think?
say let's do a follow-up episode and talking about, since Citizen for Sound Money is active in all these states trying to do things like removing sales taxes and promoting, gold as money bill. Why don't we do a later episode where we're actually focus on that and talk about the differences between the states? Because there
Yeah.
are differences on where you live, and that's a really good point. But we should make a whole episode out of that.
Actually, yeah, we should do. Actually, we got to do a quarterly update legislatively, so we can do that part of our show, and I can give reports on what's going on across the country and so forth.
One other
Um,
thing I wanted to say, we were talking about different bullion types, so I wanted to introduce something completely new because you talked about prepping as well. And prepping can be something like a hurricane. It doesn't have to be like an EMP strike or like on the deep end of the prepping scale, although I'm not saying you shouldn't prepare for that. But, at Thanksgiving, I was with some friends for Thanksgiving dinner, and we were talking about carrying around portable gold and silver in your wallet. Here's a product which is like a carrot bar. Let's see if I can get it to focus on. There we go. Carrot bar. So this is 5 gram gold in a bar. You can pop out, just fits like any credit card in your wallet. And it basically has, all the good stuff on there. This is an assay case with a holographic confirmation, what the weight is, what the purity is, and all that stuff. That, let's say you get stuck and you need to get gas and food and credit cards aren't working and you don't happen to have cash. Well, if you have hard assets, that can get you what you need. You can go to a store owner and say, look, man, I got some gold. Or you could do the silver version of that. There are silver cards that come in like a 1/2 silver credit card size that you can slip in your wallet. You can use that gold and silver to barter for goods. And I'm telling you, in times when there's no credit card machines and you don't have cash, I almost guarantee you that store owners will take gold and silver, because everybody's going to realize the value of hard assets. And especially if it's a perishable item, like a cold item, like a milk or a meat, they're going to want to get rid of it. And you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to take that gold and silver for it. So now that's a little bit more of an expensive item to buy, that carrot bar, on a per ounce basis, but who really cares? If you need food, you need food, you need gas, you need
yeah,
gas. That could be an awesome way for you to carry that around. So I carried that around with me for everywhere. And I'm about to go out of the country next week and, in the Middle East. And if I'm in the Middle East and for some reason I can't get money, gold is a huge market over there. I can certainly trade that for the local currency anytime. I know the cab drivers even do it.
yeah, and not just gold, but at Cities for Sound Money, we had the Kinesis Mint produce our
Mhm.
1/5 ounce rounds.
And those are
So
really cool.
yeah, we have them for sale online. Can I get the focus?
I can see it now.
There
Yeah.
we go. There you go. Live free, because we were founded. Well, our founder was a senator in New Hampshire, and we have some deep ties to New Hampshire and Lady Liberty. They're 1/5 ounce rounds. They're about, what is it, 1/5, like $7 to $9 right now, give or take, per coin. And we have them listed on our website. So if you wanted to buy some fractional silver, you can do that. There's also 1/10 ounce round buffaloes and so forth. So remember, the par value is an ounce. We're talking about 1/5 ounce and 1/10 ounce. You're going to have 20, 30, 40% premiums on anything, whether it's gold or silver. Like that 5 gram bar has a higher premium than a 1 ounce bar, or the 1 gram bar. So just those are things to really consider, because the dollar has been devaluing so much since we got on off the silver and gold standard. And for example, when I met with Senator Albert, and then coming Senate President, he was talking about Kevin Freeman's book, The Pirate Money, and how he talked about buying a chocolate bar with a dime. Well, when he was buying that chocolate bar with a dime, it was 90% silver. And after the senator was speaking, I'm like, what's interesting, Senator? If you use that exact same dime today, which was 90% silver, it's around $2 and let's call 45-50 cents each dime. You can still buy that same chocolate bar.
It's about a chocolate bar. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Gold and silver hold their value over time. People often ask me, will they hold their value? I see gold going down at times. Like recently, we had a pullback of a couple $100 an ounce. And I would like to point out that was after it rose about $900 over the last year. And for the last 24 years, since 2000, since we started getting these successive recessions, gold has outperformed the stock market, and it's held value to the dollar almost to the inflation rate. I'm sorry, the government stated inflation rate on par. And many people think there's additional upside because nobody really believes in the government inflation rate. And if there's ever a revaluation of the dollar currency, gold and silver should go up quite a bit to account for that difference. So gold and silver are really the ultimate value in society. Everything else is a derivative on top, including the dollar.
Yeah, 100%. And what would you say about gold? Do you think buying ounces is the way to go? I have a different thought on that, but if you want to go ahead and share your thoughts on what would be the best gold product to buy.
It depends on your budget. If you don't have a large budget, because a gold ounce right now is probably going to cost you about $2,700 in that range, depending on the make and model of what you get. If you go to Costco and get the bars, or if you go get the more expensive government coins, about $2750-ish. That's a lot of money for a lot of people that don't have it. Now, if you've got $20,000 and you just want to go buy, and you've decided I'm going to spend $20,000 on gold and silver, buying an ounce or two is okay if you're able to liquidate that. You're in a market and you can liquidate that. Now, it may be worth 10,000, a few years from now. We don't know. So you have to think of those full ounce gold is going to be worth a lot of money. It's not something you want to carry around your pocket, and you got to think about how you may liquidate it. If it gets up to $5,000 or $10,000, you have to find somebody that's going to give you the money for that. So I do think buying, 1/10 ounce, 1/4 ounce, gram bars, those types of things, you'll pay a higher premium up front. But with the way that gold is going to move over the next several years, if you're holding for 3 to 5 years, you're not too worried about the premium you pay now, especially if you're looking for lower premium quarters, tenths, halves, and gram bars. I think those are probably the better option. But a lot of that depends on your budget. So if you're just trying to save a little bit every month, there are a couple of ways. You can buy like the gram bars, like a 1 gram bar. Yeah, it's 131 and 131.1/5 of an ounce. So it's about 3% of an ounce, give or take, to 1/10 of an ounce or 1/4 of an ounce. Or I know, Daniel, you want to talk about this. They now have gold bills that you can buy down to less than 1/1000th of an ounce, which gives you another way to buy it super cheap and to buy it every month on a very small budget when you just have maybe 5, 10, 15, $20.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think fractional is the way to go for gold and silver, especially since we are anticipating, the price of the dollar to decline. Hold on, let me close this. There we go. And when it comes to 1 ounce rounds or coins, my recommendation is to buy the Krugerrand. In fact, I wrote an article back in September about the top best 5 coins specifically that you must have for preservation of wealth or for beginners. I recommend the Krugerrand. It's a top choice for first time buyers. Why? Because 90 to 95% of all gold bullion produced from the 60s to about the early 90s came out of South Africa, and is the most recognized gold coin in the world. And then the next one that I recommend, because I like fractional, are French and Swiss 20 francs. They're about 0.1867 troy ounces of pure gold. And they're about, right now, with the current spot price of 20, what is it? Where's Kiko?
26 something.
26.50. They're about 500 and, where's the article? Hold on. There you go. 515, 520 at Mex sells them probably about 530. Typically they have very low premium. If you go to your local coin shop, you might be surprised to find only a $5 premium or $8 premium on these coins, because like the Krugerrand for 30 years was producing 90% of 95% of all gold bullion. For almost 150 years, the Latin monetary union that Napoleon Bonaparte created to create a unified monetary system. Almost every European country has signed on to this agreement. Russia signed on to the agreement. Some countries in South America signed on. So you have a global monetary unit. They're called LMU coins that have the exact same amount of silver and gold in them, and they are everywhere. So I really like stacking gold francs. It's affordable. There's 500 and this change dollars, and if it drops down below that, you might even get it below 500. Then would be British sovereigns. They're fractional, like the gold francs. In fact, in the UK, if you're a UK citizen, these have no capital gains and no other taxes by stacking British sovereigns. They're slightly more. They're 0.2354 troy ounces of pure gold versus the 0.1867, because the UK didn't join France for obvious reasons in their monetary system. And I think the British sovereigns are the oldest, or one of the oldest minted gold coins in the world. Then you have American Gold Eagle. Me personally, I throw it up there just because it's the most recognizable gold coin, but it also has the highest premium of gold
Single
coins.
most popular modern gold coin and silver coin are going to be the Eagles, but they do have high premiums.
Yeah, not the silver isn't the highest, but the gold, American Eagles are up there in the top 2, 3 most expensive coins, but it is the most recognized coin in the world. And then my Rob's favorite coin is the maple leaf. The maple leaves are fantastic. I was talking about earlier, the Royal Canadian Mint Wildlife silver coins are kind of my favorite right now because they're super cheap and they're made by the same mint as the maple leaves. And they're known for having 999 fineness in gold and silver. Most mints, like the United States, is 9993 for silver eagles, and they have 999 buffaloes. But the American Eagle is actually, what is American Eagle? American Eagle is 91.67% pure gold because it has copper. It weighs slightly more than an ounce, but the amount of pure gold in an American Eagle is an ounce. With the maple leaves, you're getting a pure ounce because it's 999 fine. And then honorable mention, Goldbacks. If you are on a budget and you can afford a gold franc, a British sovereign, or gold ounce, this is a 100% viable way to stack. You know, I am an authorized dealer of the Goldbacks. I love Goldbacks. They are beautiful currencies. Florida is coming out with
absolutely stunning designs. Yeah.
Yes, Florida is absolutely beautiful. In fact, let me see if I can find it. No, this is this is not this is the number one Goldback. They don't have the other pictures in them, but on December 1st they're going to be coming out for retail. You can actually pre-order them, I think starting December 9th. And I'll find the picture, but if you go to Alpine Gold, you'll find these Goldbacks. Right now you can buy one for $5.23 or the 50 for 261. They have 5 states, and we have a link. I will post it. Let me hide this, but I'll post it on the channel here and in the description. If you wanted to buy some Goldbacks, Citizens for Sound Money, we have a referral link. You'll be supporting us by buying through Alpine Gold. We'll get a small referral. And if the same thing with pre-ordering. If you do it through Alpine Gold using our referral link, some proceeds go to Citizens for Sound Money to help our mission in promoting the use of sound money and their rights to do so. So this is definitely a good way for those who only have $25 a week to throw in the savings. Buy 3-4 Goldbacks and do that every paycheck. One thing that I was talking about was on Crypto Mindset the last 2 Fridays. They have Crypto on the Rocks, and they brought me in because I'm the gold silver guy, and I kind of should have an interesting view of gold and silver and crypto. And one thing that we believe, and I think Rob would say, is dollar cost averaging. You want a
Mhm.
dollar cost average into savings. And for me, buying gold and silver is not an investment. Buying gold and silver is saving your economic energy. So whatever you can put aside every paycheck, whether it's $25, $200, $1,000, whatever that is, dollar cost average and save into gold and silver. And Goldbacks is definitely an honorable mention because it is such a small denomination, and they're coming out with smaller denominations for Florida. There's a half Goldback, a 2 Goldback, and 100 Goldback as well. So what are your thoughts,
Yeah,
Rob?
that's a really good article. Everybody should go and read it. And I think this has been a really good sort of primer on how to get into gold, silver, how to look at premiums, how to shop around, and some good products. So there's a lot of information in this video. You guys should probably watch it a couple times. And I know, Daniel, we're going to come back with more of these types of videos for the channel to help people understand the ins and outs of the gold and silver market, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But this is going to be the first of several videos because this is just scratching the surface on the basics, what you should
Tip of the
start with.
iceberg. Yeah.
It's just there's so much, and then there's numismatics. Like I called Rob a few months ago, or what? I'm like, I was so against numismatics. I'm like, Rob, if I ever buy numismatics, I give you permission to shoot me in the face. I'm glad he's not taking it seriously.
Boy, that
Because
changed.
that changed within a month. I found a few coins. I'm like, no freaking way. This is so the value of it. Now I've sent in like 15 coins to get graded. So like I
Mhm.
completely did a 180 on that.
Yeah.
And the reason was I started as a stacker and I saw no value in paying more than the gold and silver content. But this is to be another video. There are things like the mintage, how many were minted, so it's the rarity. The fact that it's an older coin and it hasn't been circulated, it's very desirable. I mean, throughout the 100 years that we've had gold and silver, they've melted down so that if a 50,000 coin run, which is the 1916 standing Liberty quarter, they only had 53,000 from Denver. They only had 53,000 of those quarters minted. They expect only 10,000 to be around. I thought I was able to find one. This goes back to counterfeiting. We're going to have a video about counterfeiting. And I think that
Oh,
maybe
I've got some counterfeit coins. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I told Rob, I'm like, Rob, I'm about to get a standing Liberty. And if the quality it looked, it's like a $10,000 coin. I was going to buy it for a tube of Morgans. And the guy, he was okay with that because he loves Morgans. And then I looked closer. I'm like, Rob, damn, it's a counterfeit. He's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I looked up the articles online and it's a counterfeit. It's a well-known counterfeit. So you got to be careful. It looks just like a 2016, but they use a different year for the reverse of the coin. And then that coin had no silver in it. It was magnetic. So before we end it, because we try to keep this episode at 30 minutes, let's quickly, how can a person test the authenticity of a gold and silver product? You want to go ahead and talk about a couple of them?
Yeah, I'll do the 30-second answer. The size, the outer diameter, inner diameter, and thickness are printed online, so you can get a really cheap tool to measure that. You also, if you take you can also do an acid test, although acid tests only talk about the surface. They don't talk about what's in the middle, but an acid test is another way to do it. I would say acid test least reliable, doing the size and weight measurements next reliable, and then you get into more advanced ones where you have to buy more expensive equipment, such as a Sigma Metalytics, which shoots electricity through it and tests resistance of the metals and can test fully through coins and small bars. But when you get into thicker bars and hand pours and stuff like that, then there's much more expensive equipment that the big guys use, like the wholesalers and the industrial side, which will test it for you. So if you don't have that equipment, go to your local coin dealer. A lot of times they will, and a lot of times for free, they'll just test it for you.
Yeah, and what I do, because I've been buying gold and silver from local people, is not only do you test the thickness. I actually have a digital what the heck is it called?
Like a digital measuring thing.
Yeah, measuring. I don't. I'll
I
grab
think
it
I'm a
later.
jig.
Yeah, thingamajigger. To test the thickness and weighing it. You'll be amazed how accurate just weighing a coin. It could look just like a gold coin. For example, I had a fake Krugerrand somebody gave me. It's brass. It looks just like a normal Krugerrand. I mean, you can definitely tell there's a slight difference, but when you weigh it, it's only 22 grams. It should be a little over 31 grams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. Another way I like testing it is using the ping test, pinging the coin and listening to the frequency. There is an app called the Precious Coin Tester, and what it does, if you buy a pocket pinger online, just Google pocket pinger. It's about $30. You get it in the mail. You can put your coin on it, and it comes with a stick. Or if it's a large enough coin, you can actually just flick it, and you click check on the app, and it listens to the frequency, and it'll tell you if it's 3 out of 3 stars, 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3, or 0 out of 3. If it hits, there's different reasons why they have different stars. Like if it's a well circulated ring, it might not sound like a non-circulated coin. And then the acid test is another way of testing as well. And you also want to look up real coins and visually compare. Because, like, especially if it's a coin that's
coin books, coin magazines, or tons of Red Book, Gray Sheet. There are tons of them out there.
Yeah. So you want to visually compare it. So there's a bunch of ways. The easiest, if you don't want to buy and spend a lot of money, get a scale, get a ruler that with millimeters, because it's the coins are measured in millimeters, and that's you can pretty much get through by weight and just a ruler a lot of the fake counterfeits out there. But sometimes you need a little more advanced, like acid tests and even the pinger test. And there's what is that called? The little machine with the wand that you test.
The Sigma Metalytics, which does the resistance test. It shoots a little bit of current through it, and depending upon the value it gets back on resistance, it'll tell you what the underlying metal is.
Yeah, and that's about $1,000. Now it will pay for itself the minute you find a fake coin using that. That will save you from losing money on a bad coin.
Yeah, you don't want to lose $3,000 on a fake gold coin. That's heartbreaking. I'd rather pay $1,000 for the machine.
Yeah. So I think this is a great start to helping people with buying gold and silver. I think the next episode we'll dig a little deeper. But before we go, let's throw up our socials. So Citizens for Sound Money, support us. Go to citizensforsoundmoney.org and join the Pioneer membership to get access to that metal markup app that we showed you briefly earlier. Check out our brand new 501c3 website, soundmoneymovement.org. It is beautiful. I'm going to show it. Hold on. Add it to stage. Just want to show it off. Our web guy did an amazing job. This is our 501c3 website. Our mission is to educate all generations on the necessity of sound money for a sound economy and a free society to exist. So we have scholarship funds we're raising money, our TV shows, curriculum development, Sound Money Academy, free academy to learn about sound money principles and financial literacy. We have a lot going on. So check out our Sound Money movement website. And then here is that referral code. So if you want to buy some Goldbacks and want to help us out, use this link, alpinegold.com/ref for referral /C4SM. We'll get a little something. And for Rob, this is his X, freedom_report, RPT, his YouTube, Freedom Report. And then for C4SM, if you're on YouTube or Twitter, it's For Sound Money. For Sound Money. It's the same thing for YouTube. It's For Sound Money as well for YouTube. I didn't put that up there. And then follow me on Mining Life CEO on Twitter. So that is the end of our show. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And is there any last words, Rob, before we end the show?
I just say I love these episodes because they're good at building community and building information for the community. So I'm excited about this new series, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, we are. All right, guys, have a great day. Happy holidays. There's probably coming out the first week of December, second week of December, depending, because I have Nathan Lewis, which we didn't do anything for Thanksgiving because it was busy and hectic. So I'll put Nathan Lewis's up the first week of December, and then this episode the second week of December. So y'all have a great holiday.
So fresh, so new.